Going guys, I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, oh God, trust me, you won't regret it. If you're a returning subscriber, as always guys, welcome back and I do appreciate the support. Julietta, Florida is where this story takes us, and this is recently broken the news. You see this woman up here? And ladies, I want you to pay attention to this story. This woman's name is Kristen Stevens. She was 40 years old before she was viciously murdered by her baby daddy / ex, James Lindsay, age 42. Ladies and gentlemen, this woman was stabbed over 70 times in her own home after Mr. Lindsay broke in there and attacked her while she was in the house with another man that she recently met on a dating app. They're saying this is an act of jealousy. I believe it, but I think it's more than that. And I think this should be a teaching moment for a lot of people that just want to move on in their lives without having unfinished business with the other person. And I want you to hear me on this. This guy wind up killing this woman and then running out of there and crashing the car in his escape, getting ejected from the vehicle and dying on scene. Nobody won. The biggest loser is the 16-year-old child, a boy that both of them share. Now they had a long history of domestic, abuse amongst them while sharing a 16-year-old child. This man stabbed this woman, guys, with the son in the house as he slept. I want you to take a look at this story because besides this being jealousy, it's more to it. And I'll explain it when we come back.
First, though, an insane homicide investigation in Seminole County. A man stabs his ex more than 70 times. Then he dies in a rollover crash just hours later. I'm Matt Austin. Ginger has the night off. Investigators tell us James Lindsay broke into his ex-girlfriend Kristen Stevenson's Julietta home and attacked her, stabbing her over and over again, then sped off and was killed in that rollover crash near Christmas in Orange County. News 6's Troy Campbell has been following this story all night. He has the latest.
The Seminole County Sheriff's Office remains on scene outside the home along Hibbard Trail. Inside a bedroom in the home is where they say the victim was found stabbed to death by her longtime estranged boyfriend.
Appeared to be stabbed multiple times up to, it was a horrific scene, probably up to 20, 30, up to 70 times.
Seminole County Sheriff Dennis Lima describing the horrific scene discovered inside this Julietta home early Friday morning. Investigators say 40-year-old Kristen Stevens was found fatally stabbed on the floor of her bedroom. Detectives say just after midnight, the victim's estranged longtime boyfriend broke into the house in a jealous rage.
Smashing the window, what looks like a hammer, immediately coming in, jumping on top of her, on top of the bed.
Investigators say the victim's new love interest awoke to Lindsay stabbing Stevens, so he attempted to kick Lindsay off of her when he was stabbed in the leg. That's when he ran to a neighbor's house to call 911.
She recently met him through an online dating app. They had built a relationship over the past couple of weeks. They were together last night, and then ultimately, after leaving the gym, potentially having dinner or something like that, he returned back here.
Sheriff Lima says that's when Lindsay jumped into his car and quickly sped away, only to crash and be ejected from his vehicle near Fort Christmas Road, several miles away. Investigators say Lindsay died at the scene.
There's a pretty aggressive and significant bend where that is. It's likely he was fleeing in excess of 100 miles an hour, was not anticipating that bend, took the vehicle off the road and was ejected from that vehicle. He was located at that scene.
Court documents from November 6th show deputies responded to the home after the former couple had a physical altercation inside a bedroom. Lindsay was then ordered to surrender 21 firearms to law enforcement on November 20th, which he complied. Both Lindsay and Stevens share a 16-year-old son who was at home at the time.
He's a person that has lost his mom and dad in one particular incident, and words can't express the grief that we have as a community, as an organization, and we want to do all that we can.
Sheriff Lima says his agency requested Lindsay be monitored by ankle bracelet because of the November 6th incident, but a judge denied that request. The second victim, who was stabbed in the leg, is expected to make a full recovery. In Seminole County, Troy Campbell, Getting Results, News 6.
Woman stabbed 70 times by her ex-boyfriend. Thank you for joining us. I'm Ginger Gadsden.
Glad you're with us tonight. I'm Matt Austin. This is video of Sky 6 at the home where it happened. Deputies were called there on Hibbard Trail in Chuliota this morning, where they found Kristen Stevens. Investigators say James Lindsay, her ex-boyfriend, broke into her home after she went on a date with a man she met on a dating app.
So Lindsay later died in a rollover crash in the Christmas area. That's in Orange County. Now, after that break-in, News 6 reporter Troy Campbell is down in the community tonight. He is live learning more about Lindsay's history of abuse towards Stevens. Troy, this is just a horrific story.
It is, and investigators say that it goes back to 2014 and as recently as a violent incident here on November 6th. So we're standing outside of the home right now. You can see there is still sheriff's deputies here outside of the home as they continue their investigation. It's inside a bedroom in the house where investigators say that victim was found dead. Now, the Seminole County Sheriff's Office says just after midnight this morning, 40-year-old Kristen Stevens was stabbed as many as 70 times by her estranged longtime boyfriend, 42-year-old James Lindsay. Investigators say Lindsay had recently moved out of the house, and at the time he broke into the home this morning, there was another man visiting his ex. Detectives say that man tells investigators he tried to save Stevens, but he was then stabbed by Lindsay. So he ran across the street and got the neighbors to call 911. Sheriff Lima says Lindsay sped away in his car only to crash and be ejected from his vehicle a few miles away. Investigators say both Stevens and Lindsay are deceased, now leaving behind a 16-year-old who was at home at the time of the stabbing.
It looks like she was in a new relationship. The estranged boyfriend did not like that. He was probably conducting some type of monitoring or surveillance. There is previous reports that had been filed for an injunction that suggested that he was incredibly jealous, that he would work with his friends to monitor her whereabouts and behavior.
And again, the first record we have is in 2014 in a violent incident with the couple, but then more recently on November 6th, an incident in the couple's bedroom. And then on November 20th, that's when investigators say Lindsay surrendered 21 firearms to authorities, and he did comply. Again, a firearm was not used in this crime. Live in Seminole County, Troy Campbell, Getting Results, News 6.
All right, guys, that's the story. And may this woman, Kristen Stevens, rest in peace. This guy, James Lindsay, it is what it is, but I'm going to be honest with you. Regardless of the color of the person, domestic violence is domestic violence. But there's always a male aspect and a female aspect with it. And it's a lot of universal thought in the minds of men that are in American culture. This right here was more of a crime of disappointment than passion, if you ask me, and allow me to explain to myself. A lot of times when you see a crazy case of murder during domestic violence that includes a male doing something heinous to a female, a lot of times it's beyond jealousy. What I mean by that is this. Reason why I say this is a crime of disappointment, a lot of times, if you listen to the story, it said his guns got taken away. She went and got a restraining order and all of that stuff. Even though he was had a child with her, they had a long-standing relationship of going back and forth. A lot of people, misery love company. This is the turbulent relationship is something that they deem as normal. She got tired of it. Now you seen that was a nice house they had. Well, she had it. He's not living there. It's her house. She can do whatever she wants. This guy right here figured, he lost his guns. She got a restraining order. The nerve of her, the disrespect. I'm more than sure he probably feels as though she owes him something. That's the thing. A guy, whether it's always bad or not, when you have your own place or something like this, no matter the smallest favor, they feel as though they owe you owe them something. And what I mean by that is his kid lives there. So she owes him the right to come over there because his what? Son lives there. See, there are people that do little ticky-tack things to keep themselves in your life. And they know you don't want nothing to do with them or anything, but it's a power thing. So they feel as though they can intercede in your life or have some say because they feel as though they know you. And they also feel as though as long as their kid's there or they've done something in that house or paid a bill, no matter how long ago it was, you owe them and they can do what they want. We see it a lot of times out here. This right here, the jealousy might have kicked it in, but I think it's more of him blaming others for issues he has within himself. When a man stabs you 70 plus times and he know his child is in there, he's meaning to kill you and he's trying to send a message. This right here is rage. Rage of disappointment. Another thing is this. This guy cared nothing about that kid. Number one, he was fighting a girl, and the child, I'm sure, knows that the dad is a maniac. But this goes back to what I was saying with a lot of ladies and stuff. A lot of times you break off something with somebody. She just got the restraining order a few weeks ago. You got to be careful. He know where you live. He can watch you, just like this case right here with this guy, James Lindsay. He was watching her house, but he gonna monitor the house to make sure nobody come over there. And we've all been in situations like this. We all, whether you're a man and you dated a woman that was in an abusive relationship and got to keep her head on the swivel because the guy just won't let go and want to make sure nobody else get with her because he don't even want her sometimes. He just want to control the situation because he might have a kid by her, and then it makes another problem, your problem, coming into a new relationship trying to build with somebody. Or women, you might be with a guy and his girl just don't want to let go. He done moved on and everything else, and she see you and try to come and blow up the spot, and all of a sudden you're the target of random violence, or you the target of the violence that she's upset about that, you know, he put on her before. I mean, she put on him, and all of a sudden now it's two enemies instead of one. Said this guy was watching her. Said the system failed, and they did. The system definitely failed. Judge said, it's not that serious. We ain't got to put an ankle monitor on her. Even if he had that on, I think he still would have did what he did. He broke in the house with a hammer. If you paid attention to the story, they was in the bed sleep. He busted in there and jumped on the woman. You understand what I'm saying? The dude said, they said the dude woke up out of his sleep. Now they met 2 weeks ago. She had him at the house. I don't know, I don't know. My opinion, I wouldn't have brought nobody to the house. When I know my ex is a maniac, he know where I live. It's too much. She should have went with him. But I mean, people do what they do. And that's the thing. If you have unfinished business or like you just going through something, it's not a good look, especially when you know the levels of craziness the person you with is capable, or you was with, is capable of. This guy killed this woman because he felt disrespect and disappointment in her, which I don't know why. People got a right to do whatever they do and go wherever they want. It's her house. She can have whoever she wants. She can have 10 dudes in there. She can. But either way, this asshole did this devilish shit, and then he ran off, and God took the wheel, and now he's dead. And the only loser is the child. Lost his mother in a vicious way. Lost his father, which I'm sure he loved. Another thing that's messed up about this is, big as that home is, and when you stab somebody like that, that's a horrible death. They don't stay in one spot, so you can imagine how the crime scene looked. And most of the time, families are left with cleaning up the blood and all of that stuff. A lot of people don't know. They think some special agency just comes out there free of charge and cleans that up. This child's left with the reality of his home being a crime scene, and now he got to go and live with other parents or go. You understand what I'm saying? All the memories, bad memories. Come on, man. Come on. This guy's a piece of shit. And you know what's crazy about it? He died. They said he died several miles up the road. That right there let me know when he stabbed her up, he was trying to escape and go somewhere, and he couldn't even get his normal senses back to where once he got away from the immediate scene, he couldn't even calm his own self down and have self-discipline, or, just to tone his own self, get himself back in order, that he veered up and crashed. That right there tell you a lot about the mindset. There are a lot of men out here, with the mindset of children. They get mad, they go off, can't control themselves, whatever, and feel as though they have a right to rage out on people. This crime is truly sickening, and it's sad because there's a 16-year-old boy that he should have been setting an example for as a father, getting his son ready for the world, and this is what he does. I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. I don't know whether it's too late or too soon to start dating people, but I mean, you got to have fail-safes in place to where you don't feel comfortable enough to think that just because you have a piece of paper, a restraining order, or something was done with the police means you're protected. Because evidently, time after time, and this is just another example of that, you're not. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. And another thing, I got the mic in my damn hand. You know why people act like this a lot of times? A lot of guys act like this, or females. The reason why they act like this, guys, is because they think about the times they had with you, and a lot of people know they acting out of order, and you have a reason to get away from them, but they can't let go of the fact that you will have value to somebody else, or somebody else finds value in you, whether you're a man or a woman. And what they do is they'll think about how you interacted and related to them, and all the good qualities they had that they acted as they didn't see or wanted to control in you. Somebody else seeing the true beauty in you, they can't allow that, because they already know that there are people out there better than them, because they had insecurities in themselves that made them put their hands on you in the first place. She got a nice house. He used to live in there. Oh, I can't have nobody else living in the house I did this or I did that in, or I don't want no man around my son. God forbid he might like him better than me because he's a better example of a man. So I'll stop this before it happens. I'm telling you guys, it's a lot of people out here that they relate to how they related to you, and they know you had good qualities that they don't want somebody else to see or take advantage from. Another man living in the house I used to live in? Hell no, even though it ain't his house. I'm telling you, it's more to the story. And this right here was a crime of passion and preconceived disrespect on his part when he was disrespecting her the whole time. That's just how I see it. Thanks for listening.